What's up, people? So I am here at my doctor's appointment and I am an hour and 20 minutes early, but it is the appointment to confirm my pregnancy, which is surreal, to be quite honest. Can't even comprehend the fact that I might be pregnant. And when I took the pregnancy test and it came out positive, I was completely shocked. And of course, there are concerns because of my age, and there are concerns, and I'm a little nervous, but I'm trusting God that His timing is perfect and that this is a little miracle gift from Him, and excited to confirm it and take the next few steps. We'll see what's going on. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Hey you guys, welcome back to Midlife Mama. I am Tiffany, and on this channel I share videos and vlogs about becoming a first-time mom in my mid-40s. If you are new here, consider subscribing, joining the YouTube family, and coming along for the ride. If you have been a subscriber from day one, if you have been here and you are my ride or dies, I love y'all. Thank y'all for sticking with me. I appreciate you guys so very much. And yes, I'm so happy to have you all. There are about 100 and something new subscribers, so I welcome y'all. Thank you guys for being here and for joining the family. Say hello in the comments, introduce yourself. A lot of you have discovered my previous videos, and you've connected with those videos. Thank you all for reaching out and letting me know that the video is helping. I appreciate that. It's why I made the video. So anyway, in today's video, I am starting a brand new series covering my pregnancy. It's a story time video. This series is a series of stories that cover my pregnancy, because one of my biggest regrets about starting this channel is that I started it when Nevaeh was 1, which means that I did not really cover my pregnancy in detail. I didn't get to do pregnancy updates or anything like that. What I did do was a lot of journaling, and if you have been around in the early days and you paid attention to my blog, I did have a blog that is now defunct. But some of these stories were in the blog, and now that that blog is no longer active, I thought it would be fun to share storytime videos that cover my pregnancy. And what I'm going to do today is cover the day that I found out that I was pregnant with Nevaeh, who is, you will hear in the background, by the way, she's right here playing with her Minnie Mouse doll. So you'll hear her in the background. Hashtag mom life. It is what it is. So before I get started, I would love to ask you guys to join me on Instagram, Midlife Mama. I'll put it down here. It's also linked in the description box. I would also like you to join me on Instagram over at Tiffany Ann, because I am about to turn 50 and I am doing a microblog of that journey on Instagram at Tiffany Ann. So I would love it if you would follow me there as well. That's all the plugging that I'm going to do. I want to get into this video now. In the weeks leading up to me discovering I was pregnant, I wasn't really displaying any classic pregnancy symptoms. I wasn't nauseous. I did have a couple of, my sense of smell really did sort of freak out. It went like super sensitive really early on. And I remember a day in the restaurant that I was working in at the time, I remember smelling this lady's perfume from across the restaurant. And I thought, do you smell that? I was like, white linen. But there's like no one. She literally was across the restaurant and I could smell her. And my friend and boss at the time looked at me like, are you pregnant? We used to tease each other a lot about being pregnant. She's like, you see? Your sense of smell, like you're pregnant. And I'm like, I am not pregnant. So this was my mantra through this whole time before I actually took the test, leading up to before I actually took the pregnancy test. What was happening though was I was fatigued. I was really tired. I was very bloated, and I was cramping, and my period was late. And I kept saying, look, I have not started my period yet. Like, what is happening? what I was feeling was not, I didn't feel like I was pregnant. Like I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't displaying the classic symptoms of nausea and food aversions, things like that. Tenderness in the breast area or soreness there. I wasn't, none of that was happening. I just was feeling like premenstrual, pretty much. Sorry if that's TMI for some of y'all, but that's how I was feeling in the early days. So I guess you would say my early pregnancy symptoms were fatigue, crazy sense of smell, and bloating and cramping. I remember thinking, I wish my period would hurry up and come so I can stop feeling like that. So one day I spotted and I was like, oh, finally. So now I can stop feeling like this. Like now I can get through this whole premenstrual phase and start feeling like myself again. So, but then after that, there was nothing. I was going on like 4, 5, 6 days late, and right at 8 days late, that's when I was spotting, because I remember looking at my period app, my tracker, and it said you're 8 days late, and I thought, what is happening? So, of course, I went to the internet, my friend Google, and I asked Google I gave Google a list of symptoms, and Google said that I was either perimenopausal or I was pregnant. And I thought, okay, so not pregnant, so I guess I'm perimenopausal. So let me go talk to my mom and find out like what her symptoms were. So I'm like, hey, so I went to my mom and I, told her, I was like, my period is late, and I'm I'm feeling like not well. I'm feeling tired. And she's like, well, are you pregnant? And I'm like, no, not pregnant. I said, well, I did spot. Like I did spot for one day. And she was like, ha, that is the same thing that happened to me when I was pregnant with you. And I thought, yeah, but I'm not pregnant. But that conversation gave me pause. So I thought, well, maybe I just better rule pregnancy out, is what I thought to myself. So I went to Target and bought a pregnancy test and ran into my mom and Maddie. If you watch the channel a lot, if you watch the vlogs, then you know who Maddie is. She's my niece. They were in Target as well, and I ran into both of them trying to buy this pregnancy test. So I'm hiding the pregnancy test behind my back. And we're getting very close to Mother's Day at this point. So it's time to start shopping. So I'm sure my mom thought that I was getting something for her for Mother's Day. Anyway, so and I'm trying to hide this test. So I'm like, I'll see y'all later. So I mosey up to the register and buy my test. And then I take it home, put it in the bathroom, and I forget about it. Until my mom's like, so let me ask you a question. Am I going to be a grandmother? And I'm like, no. Because I am not pregnant. The next day is when I woke up in the morning and I thought, okay, I'm just going to take this test. I'm just going to take this test and rule it out. So I got up and I took the test and put the test on top of a mason jar on the sink, and I got in the shower. And now this shower, longest shower I have ever experienced. Like, I'm sure the shower was not more than 10, 15 minutes, but the longest shower ever. So I'm in here having like this emotional battle with myself. Like, if you have experienced trying to conceive, or if you have experienced infertility, then you understand the struggle, the emotional struggle that comes with taking a pregnancy test, because I've been in this place before where I'm taking a pregnancy test and I'm hoping that the answer is going to be yes. And ultimately the answer was always no. So for this test, that struggle was really no different. But at this point, I have, like you've seen in my coping with infertility video, that I've gotten through acceptance. So I've at this point accepted the fact that I'm not going to be able to have kids. So, but in my head, my head is like, my heart is like, yes, maybe you're pregnant. But my head was like, hold up. All the other tests have been negative. So don't get your hopes up. It's going to be fine if you're not pregnant. You're expecting this test to be negative. It's going to be fine. You'll be fine. But my heart is like, yeah, but maybe she's pregnant. Maybe you're pregnant. It could be a yes. It could be a yes. Anyway, my head and my heart are fighting with each other, and I'm standing in the shower like frozen because I'm afraid to look at the test. So eventually I work up the courage to quiet my heart and quiet my head and get myself out of the shower and go to look at the test. So I get out of the shower, wrap myself up in a towel, and walk over to the test, but I'm still not looking at the test. I'm looking in the mirror, and then I take a deep breath and I close my eyes, and then I look down at the test with my eyes closed. When I open my eyes, what I see is yes plus. And I'm like, so I look down at the test. I look in the mirror. I look back down at the test, back to the mirror, and then I ask, what do you mean yes? Like, what is yes? In that moment, like, I really forgot what the definition of yes was. It was really strange. It was really strange. So I, with my towel on, I tighten the towel around me, grab the test, and run downstairs to show it to my mother. So I run downstairs and I hand her the test and I say, Mom, she's half asleep, by the way. I'm like, Mom, look at this. And she's like, what is it? I say, it's positive. And she's like, what's positive? And I'm like, the test is positive. And she's like, how did you get pregnant? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, she rolls over and she goes back to sleep. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. I have to go back upstairs and get ready to go to work. So clearly that did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I don't know what I was expecting, but she's like half asleep. So I'm like, never mind. I'm going upstairs. I have to go to work. So I run back upstairs and put the test on the bed and I take a picture of it. I text it to two people. I text my sister and I text my cousin. And then I got dressed and I went to work. And it's not until I am halfway through my morning routine at work where I'm standing in front of a gigantic mixer making focaccia that I get a text from my mom. Was I dreaming or did you tell me you were pregnant? And I think if you saw the interview with my mom, then you probably heard this part of the story. But yes, she sent the text and I was like, yes, the test was positive. And she's like, well, God said it was time. And here I go, crying into the focaccia. So that focaccia had my tears in it that day. I think. So I have to pull myself together at work. Somehow I make it to when my boss finally comes in, or my boss friend, she finally comes in. And the first thing I do is show her the picture of the test. And she's like, no freaking way. No way. And I'm like, I have to go to the doctor, but like, that's the test. She was like, oh my God, like, oh my freaking God. And I'm thinking, I know, I know. This is so strange. Somehow I made it through work. I'm sure I made 1,000 mistakes that day because I was so distracted. Like, I don't even remember getting through the day. The only thing I remember about that day is when I got off work, I walked through the casino, or I walked through the hotel, and I found a bench to sit on that no one was around. And I got on my phone and started calling doctors. And I called 2 doctors who said, we can see you in 4 weeks. And I thought, no, that's not going to work for me. I need to know now. So I finally get in touch with a doctor who says you can come in this week. And I think, okay, that's great. Like, this ended up being my doctor. Like, this doctor was hella cool. Like, he was great. I loved that doctor. I still love that doctor to this day. So I ended up going to the doctor a few days later, where it's funny because I get to the doctor's office and of course it's a urine test. And she comes back in and she says, okay, so she goes, all right, I want you to get some prenatal vitamins. Do you want a prescription, or you can just get them in the store? And I thought, okay, I guess I can just get them in the store. And she's like, and she starts giving me all these instructions. And then she's like, the nurse will be in to give you some information about your pregnancy and about what to expect and to schedule your next appointment. And I'm thinking, so I'm pregnant? So I'm thinking, she's never really came in and said, so you're pregnant. She just never like came in and she just started talking to me about being pregnant. She leaves the room and I grab my phone and of course text all the people. I text my sister, my cousin, my mom, and my friend. And I say, definitely pregnant. So that is what happened. So I leave the doctor's office with all these instructions, a big old pamphlet full of what to do and what not to do when you're pregnant, and an appointment card for my next appointment in 4 weeks, and a referral to see a high-risk doctor. I was told to stop dieting and to not try and lose weight any longer. But yes, that is the day, or that is the story of me finding out I was pregnant. I'm going to end the story here because what I want to do in the next video is cover the first few weeks, the doctor's visits, what the first high-risk doctor appointment was like, what my first ultrasound was like, and that kind of thing. So that is coming up next, basically pretty much probably the first trimester. But I want to give you guys that story coming up next. So I hope you will stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed hearing this little story about discovering I was pregnant. And I hope you stick with me. If you are new here and you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. I will see you guys in the next video. Follow me on Instagram, both at Midlife Mama and Tiffany Ann. Everything is linked down in the description box below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for listening. Bye. Welcome back to Midlife Mama. Wait a minute, I'm wearing my glasses. Let's try that again. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to Midlife Mama. It has been a minute. I think, well, listen, someone's here.